The Chinese economy is slowing down, and under the strict control of the CCP, social pressures are mounting. It seems like tensions in Chinese society have reached a tipping point. Even a small incident could lead to much bigger unrest. During the National Day holiday, a Shanghai resident shared a video with Western media that was widely circulated on WeChat. The video shows an incident that took place on September 29th at Democracy Corner in Shanghai's Fuxing Park. In the video, a man called Ping Bang is giving a speech. His speech touched on sensitive topics, and right after he finished, a group of police officers rushed in and put him into a police car. As Ping Bang was being taken away, hundreds of people gathered around the police car, making it impossible for the vehicle to move. The crowd managed to pull him out of the car, but the police quickly grabbed him and forced him back inside. The onlookers then opened the car door again, pulling him out once more. This back and forth went on for a while. In the end, the police managed to keep Ping Bang inside the car, but they couldn't move the vehicle because the crowd blocked it. Eventually, the police called in security personnel to form a human wall on both sides of the car, letting it drive off. The officers who didn't get into the car weren't so lucky. They became the target of the crowd's anger. Two elderly women, both in their 80s, chased the officers, waving bottles and shouting, "Down with the Communist Party." Their voices echoed loudly as the officers tried to escape. This scene went on for nearly half an hour. The person who shared the video told the media that the police could quickly target and arrest Ping Bang because the area is under constant surveillance. Plainclothes officers are stationed there every day. He explained that Democracy Corner has been around for over 10 years. It's a place where people discuss national issues. He recalled that when a group of petitioners, including himself, gathered there years ago, the police cleared out Fuxing Park. The park was even closed for a month because of it. That was over a decade ago. He also mentioned that another place called Lushun Park, also known as Hongkou Park, has a democracy wall. It became well known for supporting the Yang Jia case, which drew a lot of attention at the time. Yang Jia was executed for murdering 6 random police officers in 2008 after suffering injustice at the hands of the police. Since the pandemic, more and more people have been gathering at Democracy Corner in Fuxing Park. At first, they came to just chat, but as dissatisfaction with the government grew, the gatherings became a way to vent frustration. The government is aware of this and keeps a close watch, fearing that any small incident could escalate. On social media, former Chinese journalist Zhao Lanjian, known for blowing the whistle on the chained woman case, commented on the recent events. He said, "Public anger is rising. Shanghai residents are once again confronting the police. Attacking police officers is a rare sight in recent years." This isn't the first time people in Shanghai have chanted anti-CCP slogans. On October 13, 2008, during the second trial of Yang Jia case at Shanghai's higher court, hundreds of people gathered outside the courthouse. They chanted, "Down with the Communist Party, down with fascism." The chanting went on for a long time, and the scene was striking. The CCP claims China is democratic and free, but the citizens face surveillance and persecution. Despite the risk of imprisonment, some Chinese people still choose to fight for their rights. Recently, a joke has been circulating online in China. Who would have thought the first place to overflow during Singles' Day would be the detention centers? Every one of them is packed. This joke started after several lawyers revealed that detention centers across the country are overcrowded.
看守所人都爆满了。
The detention centers are completely overcrowded. Many places are even planning to expand them this year. During a criminal meeting a few days ago, the person I was meeting told me that their room, meant for 12 people, was holding over 20. It's a 10-meter platform bed, and people are squeezed in, sleeping side by side, 20 to 30 of them. In this scorching heat, they're packed in without even a fan. If you end up next to someone who's a molester or a rapist, you can't even close your eyes. Some people are forced to sleep right on the floor.
The detention centers are overcrowded this year, and according to official reports, 367,000 people were arrested in the first half of 2024, an 18.5% increase from last year. When I meet clients, I often ask them about the living conditions inside. It's exactly what they describe. People packed together. But are all those being arrested criminals? Not at all. Many are just under huge pressure due to the poor economy this year. Whether it's businesses or individuals, the stress is driving more and more people to take desperate actions.
In January, China's Ministry of Public Security reported that there are over 2,300 detention centers in China. These centers can house people sentenced to less than a year in prison or those whose remaining sentences are under a year and are not suitable for labor. The Supreme People's Procuratorate also released data showing that in the first half of 2024, courts across China prosecuted 761,000 people. This is an increase of 6.8% compared to the same period last year. Meanwhile, data from the Supreme Court shows that 788,000 people were convicted this year, an 8.5% increase from last year. With so many arrests and prosecutions, it's no wonder detention centers are full. Sichuan-based lawyer Wang Rui believes there are a few reasons why so many people are getting arrested now. First, the economic situation is putting a lot of pressure on people. Mortgages, car loans, and work stress are pushing more people into risky behavior. Many have turned to activities such as pyramid schemes, fraud, and money laundering. With businesses losing revenue, illegal activities like issuing fake invoices and contract fraud are on the rise. Simply put, when the economy is bad and people can't make ends meet, some are forced to turn to crime just to survive. This fall, most global banks predict China will miss the CCP's 5% growth target. More than 80% of economists surveyed by Bloomberg expect China's GDP growth in 2024 to fall short of 5%. Financial analysts at Bank of America also question the effectiveness of the CCP's fiscal and monetary policies. Deflationary pressures in China are growing. New home prices are falling at their fastest rate since 2014, and consumer confidence has hit an all-time low. Despite this, Beijing continues to push for economic recovery through high-end manufacturing and exports. But trade faces significant risks. While exports have reached their highest levels in nearly 2 years, product prices are falling. Other countries are also growing worry of another wave of cheap Chinese goods. In short, China's economy is struggling in every area. When legitimate industries can't provide enough for people to live on, many are driven to test the limits of the law. The second issue is the criminalization of things that weren't considered a crime before, or things that the police used to ignore, are now being prosecuted. For example, running a small business without the right permits is now seen as illegal, or if someone can't make a payment because they're short on cash, they could be charged with contract fraud. Recently, there was a case in Xi'an that caused public outrage. A woman was detained for posting a video. In the report from the Xi'an Public Security Bureau, the 33-year-old was accused of spreading false information in her video titled "Snow in Xi'an." Authorities placed her under detention. However, the report didn't explain how the authorities determined that the video was false. This lack of explanation caught a lot of attention. Many people found the decision confusing. It seems the CCP is tightening control over what people say. In the past, talking about sensitive topics could get one arrested. To avoid trouble, people started talking about safer topics like the weather. But now, even discussing the weather can lead to trouble. One online user, Tianyang Xinlu, posted that if a simple phrase like snow in Xi'an can cross legal lines, then any casual comment could land someone in legal trouble. He added that while there may not have been any snow, the chilling effect from the authorities is certainly real. So if people can't talk about the weather, what will be off limits next? Will there come a day when speaking at all becomes a crime? The third issue is turning minor offenses into serious crimes. In an online comment, one person shared that a 60-year-old woman who lived downstairs was detained for 10 days just for playing mahjong. The commentator joked that the police have gone wild this year. Soon, they said, people might be arrested for picking wild vegetables or catching small fish, let alone playing mahjong or running a tea house. The fourth issue is a crackdown. This year, public security and prosecutors across many regions have ramped up crackdowns on activities like prostitution, gambling, new types of economic crime, and corruption in healthcare. Political events have also become key targets. On August 29th, a student from Northwest University was sentenced to 8 years in prison. He shouted in a Marxist theory class, "I don't believe in communism, and I don't like the Communist Party. Learning these political theories frustrates me." The police said that the student defamed the government during a Marxism theory class. His comments quickly drew the attention of the CCP leaders, and he was detained. The police report stressed that his case would be handled swiftly and severely. The report ended by reminding people that loving the party and the country is a basic duty for all citizens. A video of the student's comments was recorded on August 27 and shared widely online by August 28th. By August 29th, he had been arrested, tried, and sentenced, all within a single day. His 8-year prison sentence showed the government's commitment to acting swiftly and severely. But the police report didn't mention anything about the involvement of the prosecutors or courts, leading some to question if proper legal procedures were followed. As China's economy worsens, the CCP has been tightening its control over speech. Just before National Day, activist and public welfare advocate Zhu Bin was arrested in Beijing. Zhu Bin, a 51-year-old Christian and founder of a school for special needs children in Beijing, was detained on September 29th by the Haidian branch of the Beijing's Public Security Bureau for picking quarrels and provoking trouble. He is now being held at the Haidian Detention Center. The exact cause for his arrest is unclear, but it is believed he may have angered the authorities for talking about politically sensitive issues. Historian Li Ying, now living in the U.S., expresses concerns online. His children attended Zhu Bin's Deep Breath Learning Center in Beijing. He said the public welfare advocate has been closely watched by the National Security Bureau, with officers frequently calling him. He said, "From what I've seen, Zhu Bin often expressed his views on sensitive current issues through poetry. I don't think the National Security Bureau usually understands poetry because it's different from regular online posts. But over time, especially with tightening controls in the country, the authorities are always looking for someone to make an example of." Zhu has continued writing poetry, and even when some of his posts were deleted by platform moderators, he kept posting. Li Ying is particularly concerned about Zhu Bin's situation because he is a key figure at the Special Needs Children's School in Beijing, where he serves as principal. The school has 40 to 50 special needs children relying on him for care. These children and their families face heavy burdens, and Zhu's presence brings them hope. Being the principal is a difficult job, and the school also struggles financially. If something happens to Zhu, it will have a huge impact on the school, and the hopes of dozens of families could be shattered. An exiled dissident now living in the Netherlands, Lin Shengliang, shared his thoughts with the media. He described Zhu as a talented poet. Lin believes that Zhu's public welfare work and outspoken nature may have led to his persecution. During the pandemic, Zhu raised money to help patients buy medicine, which Lin thinks could have also made him a target. Before his arrest, Zhu's social media was focused on his work at the Deep Breath School. Most of his posts promoted the school's development. For example, on September 23rd, he shared a video with the school's motto, "Seek truth, inspire wisdom, independence, and altruism." The only potentially controversial content Zhu posted was on September 12th. He shared a video titled "How I Broke with Public Education," which was later taken down for quote-unquote violations. He re-uploaded it with a new title on September 18th, calling it "Memory Will Find You in Its Own Time and Temperature." In the video, Zhu shared a personal story about how public education neglects people's well-being. Just before the 75th anniversary of the CCP's founding, there was a major shakeup at the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences. The entire leadership team, including the director, deputy director, and party secretary, was removed. The trigger for the event was former deputy director Zhu Hengpeng's private criticism of Xi Jinping's economic policies. He was accused of improper discussion of the central government, demoted, and forced into early retirement. Other scholars who disagreed with the CCP's stance on China-Russia relations have also been punished. For example, Professor Hu Wei of the Shanghai Party School was disciplined for calling on China to distance itself from Russia. Another scholar, retired Professor Gongfang Bin from the National Defense University, was punished for predicting Russia's defeat in the war with Ukraine. Over the past year, as the CCP leadership pushed for a positive narrative on the economy, many Chinese economists were silenced for sharing views that didn't match the official line. Some of those affected include Dam Bing, chairman of Shenzhen Oriental Harbor Investment Management, financial blogger Hong Rong, Chen Shou-hong, founder of Genlong Hui, a research group, and well-known commentator Shui Pi. Others include economist Ma Guangyuan, financial writer Wu Xiaobo, and Liu Jipeng, former dean of the business school at China University of Political Science and Law. Even Hu Xijing, the former editor of the Global Times, who has often supported the CCP, was banned from speaking on July 27th. Scholar Li Yuanhua, based in Australia, pointed out that the CCP's core principle is absolute authority. No one is allowed to question it. China's economy is struggling, people's living standards are declining, and discontent is rising. The CCP fears intellectuals speaking out because they can influence public opinion and awaken the masses. The increasing restrictions on speech and frequent arrests suggest the CCP is becoming more sensitive and fearful of any events that could threaten its rule. But using harsh punishment and prison to scare people is becoming less effective. History shows that the Chinese people have a long tradition of resisting oppressive regimes. Almost every change in China's dynasties was driven by rebellion. Today, the CCP can no longer hide behind false promises of prosperity. The spirit of resistance is growing again. More people are standing up, blocking police cars, and confronting officers. Many will continue to push the boundaries and fight against CCP rule, even if it means risking imprisonment.